What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video. We're working with the second half of the week here, starting off with some squats, some lower body, and really just trying to continue the squat journey, get more comfortable doing this. Made some changes recently with sitting back more and then also rotating the elbows forward like such. I find that it just helps me stay upright with heavier weights. Sometimes because of that high bar position where I have it right now, it pushes me forward, and coming out of the hole there's a little bit of a pitch, and when that weight's heavy enough it pushes my torso forward so that when I come out of the hole, hips and lower body is rising first and then lower body follows, so you end up with like a good morning squat. So really trying to just find ways to be, tighter and more stable in that position because that's the most vulnerable, and then just to be able to control the descent of the weight. So I feel like I should definitely go wider on these squats. Still relatively a narrow grip though, but for some reason narrow grips, narrow stances tend to work better. But sometimes when I get underneath, I'll shift my grip slowly and I'll actually go a little bit wider than normal. I keep my thumb off the bar just for comfort's sake, and I feel like if I wrap my thumb, the wrist gets involved, and then the lack of mobility or my thin wrists make it difficult to kind of go from there. So just working up here and just trying to keep all those cues, firing it with every set. You can, objectively see the elbows being shifted forward, and then I'll do it after every rep just to kind of reset, and it is a little fatiguing, I'm not going to lie, with having to do that. So top set here of 396, and you'll see the same thing. I'll kind of initiate, pull down, sit back, and I think honestly it's made a difference in my torso. I don't pitch forward as much, but it does take some getting used to, and the weight is still heavy, so you're still going to feel it. But honestly, I feel more stable doing that, especially in the whole of the squat. So a couple different angles here, and these are back offs, so I don't always do the same amount of reps. I believe I do a single here, but you'll see the elbow here, squatting down, and yeah, so definitely eliminating some of that pitch forward, which I think is going to be super good going forward, because that is a balance issue on squats with me. And then just another angle, a side view here, and I believe, yeah, you should be able to see the elbow here. I'll do the same thing. I'll kind of pitch, there we go, lock it in forward, sit back, and then a little bit straighter of a bar path. Still some forward lean, obviously, and that's just, how you're built and stuff like that. So moving on to sumo deadlifts. And narrow stance in here, relatively speaking, to most people, and I just feel more secure here. And these are definitely moving well compared to like the previous week. And with the squats and everything, usually heavy squats like that, my deadlifts tend to suffer, but I think eliminating a lot of that forward lean has eliminated all the extra energy and stress that I would have to accumulate to finish the lift. So on the sumo deadlifts, I'm a little less fatigued, and I can move them a little bit better here though. So still getting caught on the quads and upper lower legs, but that's what you get. Squatting and deadlifting in the same workout is not always the easiest thing to do. You kind of have to taper. You can lower the weight on one, the intensity on another, and just kind of go from there. But my hair is looking absolutely crazy. I don't remember it looking like this. I think I just kind of walked in the gym and didn't really care what I was doing, or at least with my hair. Usually I'll throw a hat on if I'm not too happy with how it's looking, but I guess I just wanted to come in and just lift, so came in and did just that. Different angles here, and yeah, just going through the motions, using the grips, and the grips help reduce windmilling, and then also with these colder months, dry skin, tearing hands, especially with the kabuki bar and the conventional day. So that's my logic there. Hamstring curls as always, just to really dial everything in and wall round my lower body. Funny thing happening with my calf there, I've never seen that before, but yeah, lower body legs, the lower half of my leg below the knee though. Calves, I'm just putting some extra work and effort, seeing if that changes anything. My upper leg is pretty dense and thick. It's just, I don't know. It's a weird type of distribution of muscle. I just don't have a lot of it in the calf area. Some angles it looks like there's a good amount of size, but it honestly does not make sense to me. So, but yeah, more back work here, and I mentioned in a previous vid, On my back focus day with the conventional deadlift, I'll go wider and then I'll go narrower on these secondary. And it's really just to get some variety in there, change handles, keep things fresh, and work all angles and aspects of it too, though. So I'll do some unilateral work here too. Guess I didn't show it in this vid. And then going into our bench workout and upper body. So same thing, just warming up on bench press. It's not revolutionary. It's not very interesting. It's the same stuff over and over again. Pick the weights that you want to, use to warm up with that allow you to get to where you need to be. Calibrate them to how you're looking to move that day. And then basically use them to judge, how that top set's going to go. So I usually move relatively quickly, about 3 to 4 warm-up sets, depending on how confident I'm feeling. 220 is usually the one where I kind of like, okay, I may need to take another set of 220. When the weather's cold and you're not as warmed up or warm. And that's exactly what I did here. So I did 220 again and threw on the wrist wraps. Sometimes it's just a confidence thing, just to get your groove going. And with the shoulder injury, well, not injury, but lingering issues, just for some extra stability. So third warm-up here with a different weight. And this is kind of where I noticed, okay, this is how I'm feeling today. So, I just adjust. I have the number in my head of what I want to do, and then it's up to me to execute. So I think I went to unrack it there, and I missed the unrack a little bit. Sometimes I'm not... the bar isn't as balanced in the catchers or the J-hooks, and so like you go to unrack and it will move, so you have to recorrect. But yeah, really rough 286 single, so I kind of knew what the game plan was, and I was like, okay, well, we're just going to take that single and then go back down for some rep work. Sometimes it's just not the day to push stuff, especially if you're not feeling how you normally do. So you can kind of see to the lead up of all this, all the warm-up sets, that a lot of things weren't in my favor today, so I adjusted and just did what I could. Stuck with the 265 and just used that as my working set and moved on from there. So just did a bunch of sets of those just to build some volume. Just doing triples, maintaining the pause, and then just moving on to the next exercise. Sometimes the lift is just not there and you really just have to accept it and move on. So incline dumbbell press, I was progressing these as long as my shoulder allows me to. And the 105s were moving pretty well. It's just, they're awkwardly sized dumbbells. So just doing what I can, trying to stay tight. I should be using wrist wraps on these. I don't always, but if I'm feeling like a tenderness in the forearm or the wrist, I'll tie them up. But usually I don't need them. I kind of like the flexibility of just kicking the dumbbells up and getting them into position. Sometimes it's harder to do with like the tighter wrist wrap. And if I'm feeling confident, I'll just kind of run with it. Once I get into position there, it's okay. And I like this bench a lot because you can make like more minute incline changes. It's not as striking or as severe of an incline compared to other benches. So definitely focusing on the chest there, which is always the goal on this day. Obviously, you're going to hit some shoulder, but we're focusing on the bench press and everything to support that. So really trying to focus on the leg drive here and find my groove and coordinate everything together. All these movements, they're full body lifts. You want to use everything. You can do something like a Larson press where you remove your legs and then you're pressing strictly upper body, but you can always do more weight if you're incorporating more. And moving on to dumbbell flies here. So just a little bit of a different angle. And I know I complain about these all the time. We are moving back eventually to the cables when the time is right. And I just thought with dumbbells you can kind of correct the angle. You can do different movement patterns rather than just what you're locked into with like a pec deck or a cable fly. So I don't know. There's wear and tear though on the wrists and everything, and it was starting to really get at me. So just kind of decided it wasn't exactly for me. So it is what it is, and just kind of keep moving forward. A little bit of a good amount of people here on a Friday night, which is usually when my chest day is. And just, building fatigue, the volume, the strength, doing all of it together so that we're increasing in every way possible. and just tapering back as we get more fatigued. But that's the video. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff, and you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.